Y'all know I love a good story. You know, I love like a positive influence in life. You know, I like to be inspired. And you know how much I love to do showcases on people that I really think highly of. I can't wait for you to get to know this young brother by the name of Mr. Brent Palmer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, guys. This is Mentorship Moments. Each one teach one. It's time to talk about it. Let's go.
Sometimes you just gotta make it happen. Gonna make it happen. Gonna make it happen. Just make it happen. Just make it happen. Just make it happen.
Well, welcome back to Mentorship Moments. Each one teach one. Well, first of all, let me apologize. I know you guys been seeing a lot of reruns lately. I've been busy making some hella transitions in life that are very positive for all. So I'm coming back strong, and I'm back, right? And you know when I come back, you know what happens. I always bring the backup, literally. I'm really excited about today's show because I love showcasing my authors. Again, I'm a book writer myself, and it was one of the most freeing feelings. I considered it dumping my life out on paper. It was therapy for me, but I didn't realize how much it was helping others when I did it. And not only do I love showcasing authors, I love showcasing authors that I know, that I've seen, that I've touched, you know what I'm saying? That's touched me. And I definitely want to bring them out. So today's guest is really needs no introduction to me, but I can't wait to introduce him to you. His name is Mr. Brent Palmer. Let's bring him on camera. Sir, how you doing?
Doing great today, sir.
All right, man. First of all, let me get this out the way. You know I'm already proud of you, of who you are and what you are, and then you went and wrote a book. I'm going to hold up this book right here. It's called Fighting the 360. That's what we're going to talk about today. What does that mean? You know what? I'm going to let you tell the public where did you come up with that title, Fighting the 360, and what does that mean to you?
Just my life experience, just being overweight, not really good in school, low self-esteem, not having a father. So I always had to fight every time I look around.
And what do you mean fight? I mean, let's talk about humble beginnings. Like me, I love I love the African American experience because it's so dynamic. Me, I did have two parents. And I was raised in Long Beach, the West Side. My wife teased me because I was raised on Easy Street, literally. But I had elements. I had things happen, but I always had two-parent household to kind of protect me and guide me. I also had a big brother and a big sister and a twin brother. So we had family and 41 foster kids around me. So there's a story there, right? But your story is like amazing. You were showing what was starting off in life for you like? Did you have two parents at home? What was that? Tell us about it.
I grew up in Compton, single parent home. We lived with my grandmother up until I was, I believe, 11 years old. On my street, it was a lot of kids that didn't have fathers, and all we did was go outside and play with each other, and we didn't really have that positive male role model in our lives. And a lot of my friends, they ended up going a different road. My mother always taught me to good morals, and I always kept that. And that was more so like integrity for me.
Okay.
And growing up in a single parent home, big shout out to the women who do raise children who are single parent, because it is hard, and women can only raise men to a certain level. To like a man has to put the real foundation in him, and that's something I learned late in life.
Wow. Well, let's talk about how late, because when I came up, even the kids that didn't have fathers, we always had a Mr. Jones on the block. We always had a Mr. Joseph on the block. We had some man that we could look up to. It sounds like to me you didn't even have that coming up. Is that correct?
Correct.
Man, so how did your mom do it? You talked about her instilling integrity in you, because a lot of kids didn't get that. It was survival, and I know kids who just had to survive, right?
Correct.
How did she do it with a male? How did she do that with you, where you said, you know what, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do what they're going to do. How did she do that? What was the magic?
She always kept me busy. She signed me up for Pop Warner, so I was always active. And then I believe when I was 12 years old, we joined church, and I was able to join like the choir, and I joined the usher board, and I I was around a male figure, but I was also like shy and like I'll never really gravitate towards them. I was always to myself.
Right, right.
Because my father, he used to come around every now and then, but not like that though. And he used to always promise me he was gonna pick me up, and sometimes he didn't.
Yeah.
So I kind of developed that distance from people because he used to say he was gonna pick me up and he never did. So
When your father did show up, did he give you any type of guidance? Is it something memorable each time, or what did you feel it was just like, oh, I'm just going to check the box?
yeah, just check the box. He'd come pick me up. We'd go watch a movie, get some food, and then I wouldn't see him like maybe months later.
Man. And then how did that make you feel? Was it, I mean, each time he maybe would or would not show up, was that a letdown for you? Did they just drive something in your heart? I mean, I want to know about that.
It was a huge letdown. I just never understood at the time because I had one friend. He lived like maybe 5 minutes away, and he had both his parents. And I used to go over his house, and I used to be jealous and envy because I used to see like the family togetherness. And one time we had sat and ate dinner at a table, first time ever, and that kind of just blew me away. And I used to go back home, and it used to feel like a cloud used to come over, kind of be like, man, that's what I want, but I don't have it.
How did it feel seeing that? I know you talked about jealous and envy, but you're sitting at the table, and did it feel like a puzzle piece was connected that you wouldn't have? How did that feel? I'm just curious.
Just seeing that, I was just like, I felt like, man, this is what I want. Like I felt like this is what I should have, and I didn't have that. Mm-hmm. And, it's not my mother's fault. It's not my father's fault. Maybe it just didn't work out. Okay. And then just unfortunate, I had to go through that in order to break the generational curses. So when I have children, I know what to do next. When I had children.
Well, I can tell you, like, I had two parents in the home, but my father did it all by himself. Now, he and his brothers, they all were journeymen. They same thing. And he decided that he would break, and his brothers would break the generational curse, with the exception of my uncle who was a pimp. But I loved him to death. It's actually one of my favorite uncles, But he raised his girls, but he was a straight up pimp. he says, I'm sorry. His favorite line was, "I love white women with no teeth." Sorry, white women with no teeth, but he was coming after y'all. He was big time pimp. But we had that kind of love for each other, and there were still elements that I respected about him too. Those were all the minimum, and they all did it themselves, and all of them in some way changed the dynamic and said, "Not in our house in some way." Even my uncle, rest heavy. I love it. I want to read something in the book before we continue a little bit, and I said I would. I don't want to like dig into all the cookies of the book because I really want the public to really experience, and we'll tell you how to get to the book. This work is excellent. It's excellent. I've been blessed to have great guests on the show. I'm looking at my wife over there. We're going to talk about you in a minute, babe. All right, but let me read this to you. Crying Son. And it's kind of right on topic. And I'll try to read it in my James Earl Jones voice. Or Denzel. Oh, you'll see. You'll judge. All right. The days you told me you would come, and you didn't. When I kicked those Jordans off, the tears came pouring down. The only thing to dry up those tears was when you picked me up for a movie. No matter how much money or how many gifts I received on the holidays and birthdays, it didn't substitute for lost time. How I cried because the man wasn't being developed. How I cried because you weren't at any graduation. No football games to cheer me on. How I cried because I suffered in a world that has no patience for boys and their problems. Man, brother, that's deep. I know I don't want to cry forever, but damn, I cried many days because of lost time to manhood. Sincerely, Brent Palmer. My wife's on pause. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is like one of like the best works I've read, really, because it's deeper than just surface. I'm telling you my story. You're talking about stuff that black males, adult males, are afraid to talk about because they don't want to appear soft. And we're going to talk about that. What you thought was a soft period is what I believe was one of your strongest characteristics in getting to know you myself. So let's go into that. Speaking of soft, you talked about, being judged as soft, and did you get that perception from other kids thinking that you were soft, or was this just a projection on yourself living in the area that you were?
This is a projection on myself living where I was at. A lot of times you live in a world where people put on a mask, and it's like, oh, I want people to think of me like this, you know. And a lot of children, you know, our decisions are based upon, you know, our life experience. And, you know, a lot of times people are too afraid to talk about those. You know, we live in a world where people just want to seem like they're winning all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, you can only fake it for so long to where, you know, life will really start to get at you. And that's what I learned, you know, later on in life. And me expressing those words in that book, I was very happy and I was very relieved of that. You know, it's not soft because you talk about, you know, your feelings or your problems or your shortcomings. That's what life is about.
Yeah.
Talking about them, fixing them, and, you know, overcoming them. So I was very blessed to, you know, write my life experience in that book.
I see the smile on your face. See, that smile is we wrote a book. We got it out. You know, that's your baby, right? And I appreciate it. I mean, I can't read all the I want to just read it all to you, but I can't. There's reading, and then the poetry just kind of brings out what he's about to talk about. It's just beautiful what you did. Let's talk about writing the book, because there are other young authors, and then we'll get more into your life. For me, it took I had the draft in my head for a month, but it literally took me 2 weeks to write for me, because that's how passionate I was. You know, it was supposed to be a fitness book, but then it turned into something in homage to my father and what it was like to have a father, right? Running from that and coming back to it. How long did it take you to get this out?
It took me approximately about a year to write it.
Okay.
It's a short book. However, I wanted it to be genuine, honest, and, you know, not sugarcoating it. I feel like, you know, my story will help others express themselves better. And I just kept writing every day, whether it's like 100 words a day, sometimes 1 word a day, or maybe just thinking about it. So
I like how he expresses in a way where you feel like he's talking to you in his language. You know, many times you get people who read your book that you're trying to get feedback from, or coaches, and they want to, and I don't mean this in a negative way from my white fans watching, whiten it up, because I had it happen to me. You know, I love the slang. I love because I felt like I'm living in the community. You know, Long Beach is just a hop, skip, and a jump from Compton, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
I was feeling that. You know, let me turn my phone off, because that's kind of rude. Sorry. All right. Sorry, public. All right. So I was feeling that, and that's what I want you guys to feel when you read this book. You will hear the slang. You will hear the diction. It's just a beautiful thing. So, Pop Warner football. You were an athlete. So I'm thinking Pop Warner football, super fit. You know, this guy's got yoked up muscles. When I think Pop Warner was no joke, especially Hell Week. If you came, but you already know.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't play football. Hell Week was nuts, right? There's a period of time where it seemed like in your book you're showing photos, and then we'll talk about how I know of you. You were struggling with weight. What was that like, and what contributed to all of that? Was it emotional? You know, women say we emotionally eat before we gain weight. Is it the same for men? What was your process? How did it get like that for you? Because, you know, we talk about Pop Warner football, it only goes up from there. You know, it changed for you. There are photos of you in this book, overweight. In fact, I want to take show a picture of Brent, like at his heaviest. So look at this. This guy's a very svelte, fit man. You know, so we're going to show a before picture. We're going to show a couple of photos of you. You know, kind of like overweight. You know, I try to keep it real, and they'll come up in a second. And then I want to show what he looks like now and how we got to that. So, you know, whenever our DJ gets a chance to pop him up, there's the before picture. You know, how much were you weighing in that photo?
I believe around 315, I believe.
That was 315?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, there's another one where you might have come down a little bit, but you were still kind of, how about that? Was that about the same? Looks like you were doing something athletic.
Around 290-ish.
Dude, and you can mark it too. That's pretty good. Well, hey guys, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a look at what he looks like now. I mean, this guy has made an absolute change on himself. So those are going to pop up in a second. Look at that. You know, and I remember getting a couple of those photos when we talk about some of that transition that I saw. That's in the gym looking swole. And then the next one, you just killing it Denzel style. I want to take a look at that photo right there. Look at that, man. Where was this photo taken at?
Balboa Steakhouse in West Hollywood.
Man, killing the game, my man. Look at you. You know, and I'm going to hold that for a minute. We're going to put a pause on that photo. But I do want to talk about weight gain is a problem in the African American community. What did it attribute for you? How did it happen for you? Walk us through that.
Basically, my whole family, we are pretty much overweight. And the grocery stores, you know, the low quality food, I would say. When I started losing weight, I started going to like grocery stores in like the white areas, and like I started seeing like the organic products, and I'm like, wow, this is a huge difference from where I'm from. And I had wrote a poem. It's not in the book. It's gonna be in my second one, and it's called "The Power of Image."
Okay.
And I believe if I would have saw that earlier in my life, I would have been far more advanced than what I
And
where I was at.
the book is called The Power of Image.
The Power of Image.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Keep
And
going.
you know, I grew up, junk food, cookies, cakes, fried food. It was a time where I ate fried food maybe 3 or 4 times out the week, and eating bag of chips every day. That was the norm. That's all I knew.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. Hey, we all did it too. Sundays was in the African American diet. Love was food, right? And you can verify. Sunday we get off church, and for me, if it was a good day and we were really good that week, Dad would take us to Kentucky Fried Chicken when the chicken was good back in the day, and then he'd take us to Winchell's Donuts afterwards. And then we get a bunch of soda, and boy, we had a sugar high. We were all dying of diabetes and didn't even know about it. That was our Sunday. And you're saying like every day of the week it was like that for you, right?
Almost every day, yeah.
How much is it attributed to your parents, your mother not knowing, or maybe hurt people? Like when we're talking about diet, right? Do you think how much of an impact was that to gain? Did your mother know? It was like, oh no, let's try. What did you think? Or she's just doing the best she can for you?
Yeah, it was just the best you can. I believe, if that's what you grew up on, then that's just normal to you.
Okay.
Until you, really get out and see others. I went to Europe a couple of years ago, and pretty much everybody out there is all slim. And I remember I was out there, and people was looking at me. I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm a celebrity. And I went to go buy a T-shirt, and it was like a 2X, but it felt like a small.
Okay.
Because out there, their diet is different. And I had this white teacher. I was in the 4th grade, and he used to tell me, "You need to be eating this and this and that." I'm like, I'm not listening to this dude. I'm used to eating what I'm eating.
Right.
So when he was talking about it sound foreign to me. So it was a huge wake up call when I got to the academy the first time around. It was a great experience.
And and we're gonna talk about that on after the commercial break. I can't wait to fast forward into how I met this brother. This is Mentorship Moments, each one teach one. We are The Village. I'm here with author Brent Palmer, fighting the 360. We'll be back in 1 minute.
In life, we all have opponents to prepare for. But you don't have to be a fighting champion to defeat your current condition. You don't need to be the ultimate anything to tap out the stressors in life. But what if I told you that mastering your physical well-being, like a fighter, directly relates to mastering the obstacles in your daily life? The only challenger that awaits you is yourself. Do you accept your challenge? I'm CJ, and this is CJ's Functional Fitness, where you don't have to be a fighter to feel like one. So let's train.
All right, we're back with Mentorship Moments, each one teach one, and we are The Village. I'm back with Brent Palmer. I want to talk about the next journey, take a quick break and just fast forward to where I met you. Now, I work for the city of Los Angeles, and those of you that watch the show, I protect and serve. And during the time of social unrest, it was very difficult to get African Americans, to recruit African Americans, let alone see one, Finally, this young brother comes in, a kind gentleman by the name of Brent Palmer comes in, and sure enough, and the facts are the facts. He came in overweight, but the Academy fell in love with his personality. No, I could not find one person that said anything bad about him. And academically, everything was fine, but the fitness part was hard. First of all, what made you want to become the Popo? Please, I'm curious because that's a hard choice to make in these times. Let's talk about that first.
I was in Rouse. I was working at the Rouse on 120 in Vermont, and one of the sergeants came in there, and I asked her about it, and she had told me, complete the process and start going to CAPS. And at that time, I had researched CAPS on YouTube, and I looked at the fitness, and I'm like, oh no, this is too much. And I went to one. It wasn't that good. I remember we ran maybe about 5 miles. I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And she told me, "Oh, keep coming, keep coming." So I went there on and off till finally I got close to getting to the academy, and I passed the body fat by maybe 1 point. Fast forward, I got in the academy, and I remember that day. It was a blessing for God, you know. First day we was doing push-ups in the heat, running, and I failed terribly. I can't lie to you, and that's something that I had to take accountability on. At first, I looked at it as a negative way, but I was able to mature and look at it as a positive way. My last day, I had to take my final PFQ, failed it by 1 point. Then,
Keep going. Keep talking.
and then I had met a positive gentleman, one of the sergeants there, and he took me under his wing, learned how to eat right, and went from there. And all I want to say is just about accountability. Experience I'll never forget. I learned, you know, I don't care about race or where you're from. As long as you put in the work, God would always see you through it, no matter what people say or anything like that.
Well, you know, people hearing this and you start talking, oh, Lord, don't you start talking about God and stuff. Oh, Lord, you know. And I'm so happy that he had a young man that believes like I believe. I mean, there is a God. It's not the political God. It's a real God. You talked about coming into the academy and not being able to, and I was able to watch some of that, you know, and it's funny, for the first time, I never saw a bunch of PT and DIs like jump on a recruit. They literally, I've never seen a recruit in a long time where everybody was cheering for. When you knew you weren't, you talk about accountability. What made you sign up knowing that you weren't quite ready yet?
I believe it was just God's journey for me. I knew I wasn't ready, but I knew I wanted help. I always wanted to get fit, and I just didn't know how to get fit, you know. And I guess it was like a cry for help. So when I signed up for the police department, I was able to get help from so many people, and I just thank God for them. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at, and I can't take credit for nothing I did.
With the civil unrest and the take on all police officers are racist, and you know, even the black ones are racist. You know, I mean, it broke my heart during that time, because I'm like, wait a minute, I've been doing this job for 25 years. You know, we brought people. Yes, we've had historically. I get it. But jumping in, I realized white, black, Hispanic, there were some good quality people. Was that shell shock for you? Were you surprised? And upon that surprising, what was your take on it now, getting in it with the diverse people of instruction, white, black, Hispanic? What's your take?
I never had a bad connotation of the police. Always been my person to where, you know, I would rather get to know the department first before I start, you know, jumping off. Because many people say a lot of stuff. And even though in events in the U.S., it has been police brutality here and there.
Sure.
And, you know, that's something we can't hide behind. But for the most part, I think where we at now is definitely have gotten better. It's more quality cops. I'm on a department, so I see that. So
Wait, you hear what he said? He says, because I'm on the department, it just got better. No. I'm messing with you, brother. I couldn't help it. I had to get you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue, sir.
Yeah, and what I learned is, you know, what you put in this world is what you get. And as long as you continue to be positive, then I believe we can continue to move forward.
You talk about failure, and this is one of the things that really made me say, this guy's the truth. I really think you're going to be something special, not being defined as a law enforcement officer, but as just a public global servant beyond that. I really feel that way, especially with a book like this, because you're not defined by the job. I see that in you. That day of failure, walk us through that. And then I'll pick up the story where I'm kind of like, this guy's like the truth. Because you were actually a pilot program. I don't know if you know it or not, but you know now, of something that I started. So talk about that day where you had to leave. What were the circumstances?
I remember I fell, and I believe it was around like 11 o'clock. I had to clean out my locker. And I was just like, man, like I'm lost. Like I don't know what to do. Like I just quit my job to come here thinking I was going to be a police officer. And, you know, at that time, it almost felt like impossible for me to get in shape. And that day I just felt really bad. And I remember going home that day and I said, God, take over my life. And that's when I was able to keep in contact with you. And a week later, I went to the barbershop in Compton, got my haircut. I said, let me go get a haircut. I said, maybe that made me feel better. Let me go to a job interview. And I told my barber what happened. He said, what? I know a retired detective. So he gave me his number. And I gave him a call. He said, how many miles will you run a day? I said, to be honest with you, sir, less than a mile. He said, what? You should be running 5 miles a day. I said, sir, I can barely run one. So he invited me to his house. We talked for maybe 2-3 hours. And he linked me up with another person who was in the process. We started getting in really good shape together. And took off from there. And I learned about suffering when I failed. You know, if God sent his son to suffering, he going to make us suffer too.
True.
And, you know, what I mean about suffering, you're not going to always suffer, but it's good to suffer sometimes.
Ooh. Wait, bro. Where'd you learn to be so wise? Boy, that's something old people say. Look at that. I love it. You know what? I'm so rude. If you're someone that's in the audience that's listening and actually wants to speak to this brother, man, because I think this guy's going to be taking over the world soon. You know, you can give us a call. Once the number's on the screen, I'm going to read it. And I don't have my glasses on, but I believe it's 323-815-4204. That's 323-815-4204. Now, we're going to show you how to get a hold of this brother's books, Fighting the 360. But call in if you have questions. You know, we're talking about background field. There's a book up there, Fighting the 3. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. We'll talk about. We'll hook you up. We'll hook you up with that a little bit. So in continuing, so here's where I'll pick up. Everybody kept me abreast on who is this Brent Palmer kid. You know, So I'm taking a look at it, and immediately I said, man, there's something special about you. You know, and all of a sudden they had asked, recruitment had asked. And me to try to develop a program for people who are having a hard time struggling or maybe have left the process to find an interim way to get them in shape. So it was called Fit for Hire. And you were the first, you don't know it or not, you were the first Fit for Hire person. So I came in and we started working with them a little bit. And, you know, couldn't do much off duty. So we just had to send you nutritional meals, give you some coaching whenever you needed. And it was more or less, I found myself doing spiritual counseling with you, you know, along with the fitness. And you just took it along and did it yourself. It was a beautiful thing. How many pounds did you lose to get your mind right to get back into the academy?
In the process, I lost around 70 pounds. 70 pounds.
Oh, man, I'm running around telling people 40. It was 70? Oh, my God. Tell us what you did. People want to know because this is a health and wellness show. Mm-hmm. What did you do? Because I didn't have you physically. You know, maybe a couple of times for Fit for Hire, but you did it yourself. What did you do?
I just changed up my eating habits. Just changed up the stores I was going to, eating a lot of vegetables, drinking a lot of water. I stopped eating meat for maybe a month and a half, and weight was just coming down tremendously. And just running. And honestly, it's funny, I say this. I had worked at a warehouse, and I was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And once I leave there, I'll go run at Aviation Park and run about 5 miles a day.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 5 miles?
5 miles a day. And then once I started doing that, a lot of good things started coming around. I picked back up with the process and went through that. And went from there.
Now, how hard was it to lose the addiction to the foods you were eating before? And did passion and goal setting, which I tell my clients, cure that desire to eat those bad foods?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I just made up in my mind and said, you know what I'm doing right now is not working. And I said, what I'm doing, I need to figure something else out. So I just gave it a shot, and I just eventually fell in love with the healthy options of eating fruits and vegetables. As a kid, you know, I used to eat fruits and vegetables every now and then out the can. However, I was eating the raw vegetables and fruits and vegetables.
So you're back. You're back at the academy. And I do remember you saying one thing to you. I said, the last thing I want you to worry about is your physical fitness while you're going through your academy. Mm-hmm. How did you take that to heart? Because it seems like you just ran through that thing afterwards.
I took it to heart. Once you come in shape, it seemed like, you know, you had a sense of belonging. And once I did that, academy went by fast and I had no issues with nothing.
Wow.
So,
and you ended up kind of in a quasi leadership role. I mean, I don't think you understand the effect that you had on the academy as a whole. People really looked up to you in your journey. That, well, you being that one first pilot turned into about maybe when I was around, along with working with CAPS, maybe about 30 people that came through. And it was nice to see every couple times a week during the pandemic, a group of 15 and 20 kids out there doing some crazy workouts to get in the academy. Well, I just want you to know, brother, that program is still going on through recruitment. And that's a testament to you being, I consider you being a pioneer of will. And so when you tell me you had a book, I'm like, okay, I got to read up on this, right? And, you know, I don't know who the Sergeant C is, but I don't know who that is. But, you know, I feel like it might be me. I don't know, you know, but I love the fact that you give props to the mentorship, and I appreciate it. You know, I just want to thank you for that. Now I want to get into something deeper. You had the weight loss. You had your setback and failure that promoted you to success. And now you're actually out there. You actually have. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because there's so many circles to life as to people's human experience. Putting on that badge and going out there in the field. First of all, the external, people outside of the job. Was there, for me coming up in the 90s, it's like, oh, you're going to be a pig? You know, what's that about? Oh, you and your brother are sellouts. All right, man. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to get this job. I was like, I only had $7 left in my bank account. I needed a job in a recession, and I took it. It wasn't about trying to be no cop. I was trying to get a job everywhere. No one was hiring, and I said, oh, God, here I go. I'm going to be the popo. And they hired me, you know? Like, whoa. What was it like for you? And did you feel that pressure from outside sources? How were your family conversations like, dude, you're going to be a cop? What was that like?
At first, they were a little questioning, oh, what are you doing? You know, a little fearful, too, as well. Because a lot of times people just go off with the media saying, oh, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. However, I was able to tune that out. I believe, you know, if you follow what God has for you, you know, he will make sure that road is, I won't say smooth, but he'll make sure you get through it.
Yeah.
And honestly, joining the police department was the best thing I ever did, to be honest with you, for my life, as far as fitness and everything. And just being on the department, I feel like, you know, the power of image. If I can come in with a positive attitude, treat everybody equally, and not show biases, you know, maybe somebody might be like, I like the way this brother worked. Let me try this, you know, because we just need that one person just to like break all the stigma, pretty much.
Do you feel the brunt of the social energy that we came through in the last couple of years? It feels like it's kind of turning around again, and the crime rate went crazy. So I guess that didn't work. So I guess we got to work with the police again, you know, and like we were already trying to do. But for you, did you feel that social? I felt it because for years I felt the community surround ourselves around, because we were doing okay. We weren't St. Louis. We weren't, you know, I mean, we had our history, I mean, no question. And I was afraid because, you know, getting on, because I know, you know, but I knew we made some changes for everybody. Didn't say we were perfect. How did you rationalize that? Did this social environment, you know, challenge you a little bit? Trying to find the right words to say.
Yeah, it did. It did. You know, I have a lot of friends that say, oh, this happened, police do us that. You know, and I always tell them, you know what, right is right, wrong is wrong. If it's wrong, of course, I'm going to give my opinion on it. They should have did this. However, I think as us as black officers, we need to encourage more of us to be police officers. That way we can, you know, even out the playing field in a way. Not in the sense of we want to have power, but in the sense of like more of a positive role models. Like we need more brothers to come from the hood so we can be able to deal with our people, you know, or come up with different ways on how we can address certain issues in our community, instead of having someone who never lived there try to implement certain ways to try to, you know.
I really like what you're saying, because when I came on, we had more African Americans on the job, and I think we're down to like maybe 10, 11% now with attrition. And the community that really stands out the most to me that had similar struggles was our Hispanic community. They now make up the majority of the department. I don't know if our public knows it or not, but it's no longer a white department. It hasn't been for years. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, and I hate attaching color because that's stupid, that's dumb. But since, you know, people, white police department, it's not that. It's majority Hispanic who came from communities and dealt with positive and negative law enforcement just like you and I did, you know. And now they decided, we gonna get in. We gonna infiltrate this bad boy, and then, you know, there it is. You know, and my question is, And I understand the fear and hesitation and why we don't do it. I mean, just like other people are attached to their conspiracy theories and, but like you just said, if I can get like 20% of you guys on the department, I can leave this job feeling like we're going to be all right. How important it is, do you think, for the community, where even though they may not say anything, to see like 200 brothers just like you on the job and sisters? How effective do you think that would be for you?
I think it'd be real positive, seeing like more brothers and sisters on the job, showing that, hey, we got our people on here trying to do the right thing. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I grew up in Compton, and the sheriffs is like 99% Hispanic, so you don't really see brothers. I grew up, I didn't really see brothers as cops. I might have seen them on TV, but I didn't see it like in real life.
Yeah.
So I think that would help better the image of police for our people, I would say. And also to help mentorships like in our community as well. And
I feel you. You work on the west side of the city, and that's a place that I spend time in. And for me, that was healthy for me. Getting out for a minute and then working my way. No, I started in Northeast, that Rampart area, and then I went to the west side, caught a little break, and then I started making my way back to the Wilshire area, the mid-dip, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm coming back home, which I think is a good plan for you. But I know you're coming back to the community pretty soon, right? Yeah. I love it. Yeah, don't leave us hanging, man. Talking all this crap, I can dig it. I'm proud of you, and you're almost done with probation, right?
correct.
And you know where you're going. I mean, what area?
I don't know, but I picked mostly South End, so
South End?
hopefully I end up Southeast.
Okay, just letting y'all know, Brent's coming home, y'all. Brent's coming back home. He's coming to the South, South LA. Here we come. And just hopefully our community that watches this, and I get feedback later, receive this brother with open arms. I'm telling you, man, this guy never, how do I say, the job never, it's not in him to have a job define him. And I know the kind of black officer you guys are talking about where the job defines them. They're, we never drank that Kool-Aid. So I got another brother right here that didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Well, listen, I want to get a little more into your book. I want to talk about, but I just needed you guys to know that you can overcome, and law enforcement is not such a bad job. I mean, welcome to the middle class. So anyway, all right. So I want to talk about more of the mental health issue, which I'm encouraged by this. When I read a chapter like looking to the world for help or lowest common denominator, talk about those two. Just overview. You don't have to get in all the cookies.
Just looking to the world for help. Looking for validation from your friends and family, and also too, I was just trying to make myself seem like this cool person when I wasn't. I joined football with the end goal of being this popular guy with all the chicks.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't even care about this stuff like this. And then it was time where I buy like certain stuff, and I still feel and I still didn't feel like I was that person. And sometimes when you look for the world for help, that's the wrong thing to do, because many times people, they try to put things on you and it's not you, and like you end up getting hurt or you end up failing later on in life. So I did like a lot of those, and like I ended up being at my lowest. And the lowest common denominators, I came up with that title because we attach ourselves to things that the people who think the same as us, and I don't care how you are. Sometimes people, you can be with the prettiest person, then like they can just have like their mind is like down in the dumps.
Been there. That's why I married my wife. I got tired of the BS. Thank you for saving my life, Eva.
Because
go ahead.
Because I had some family members, they dated certain people, and then it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because in the African American community, like over 60% of us grew up in single parent homes.
Yeah.
And I want to fix that. Why is it we can do better, but we choose to stay down here? So that's why I came up with the lowest common denominator.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to take a little pause on this because I got to give a few shout outs. So here it is. First, we're going to talk about birthdays. We're going to put a picture up of two gentlemen. That's the older us, but I want to show you our little bit. Look at that. Okay, that right there is to the, I guess, my left is probably the number one officer in America. That's Senior Lead Officer Deon Joseph. Just Google him. The guy is super special. I'm glad to have shared an egg with him. And that guy with the mean mugging face, that's me. All right, that's me. This is what we look like now. Suit and tie, kicking it. We were just at a leadership conference a couple years ago in 2020. I want to say happy 50th birthday to Deon Joseph and me. We're turning 50 and we are looking good. Woo, looking good. We are looking snapping.
Yes, sir.
There are other birthday shout-outs I want to mention. Shouts out to Diana Red. You got a birthday coming up this month. A very incredible guest on the show. Incredible life herself. Incredible trainer. My brother, Kelvin Gamble. Coach Eric Knowles. Who am I forgetting? I think Brian Butler. I think his birthday is this month. Baby, am I forgetting anybody? You should. Oh, Evelyn Khan. Yes, happy anniversary to Evelyn and Abdul Khan. Man, I love you guys. When you see me, I'm always tired and just kind of tired all the time. But I want to tell you, I really love you guys. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but, birthday shout outs, I want to make sure that's out there. But I do want to give a very special shout out. And I want to put this picture up of my wife, Eva Joseph. Yes. Why are you shaking your head? Why are you shaking your head? You like that photo. You like kissing Denzel Washington. I look better than Denzel and El Cool put together. You know it. They ain't holding up. I'm holding up. All right. I want to say happy anniversary. It's going to be 25 years. I'm the luckiest man in the world because I get to celebrate a 50-year birthday, 25-year anniversary. Y'all, thank you, Howard the DJ. Yeah, you're doing awesome, my brother. I love it. 25-year anniversary, 50th birthday. Got my brown belt in jiu-jitsu, headed for a black belt. I graduated from college from inspirations like you, right? I got my bachelor's, heading for my master's. A lot of good things are happening because, like you, I decided to accept the challenge and step up my game. And the biggest step I ever did was going to the South Bay Galleria in a green turquoise pants and a wrinkly shirt because I didn't have no job, with an iron stay on it, and try to get down on one knee and propose to this woman. God bless you, because I was trouble, and I just thank you for just taking this old dirty cat in. We made it 25 years and 25 more, baby. I really love you. I bring you up on here, but you don't want to come out there. It's like, I got you. Yeah, you got to have your hair and nail did. I get you. But we celebrating, y'all. We celebrating soon. Anyway, back. I want to make sure I didn't want to forget that because I would get in trouble if I got home. All right. So your take now. How old are you now?
27.
This brother's only 27 years old. Oh my God, so much more to life. And I hope you meet the love of your life and all that
Absolutely.
good stuff. I think, when they see how handsome you look, it's going to be on and popping when people watch the replay. It's going to be on. Your thought process being in this moment right now, after writing a book, and we'll talk about another chapter before we close out, your thought process, your reflection of life, because it's so very mature. I believe you're an old soul, but an old good soul. And you kind of have an effect on everybody. What is your reflection of life at 27 right now, looking back on your life?
Just wherever you at, you can always change. Where I grew up, grew up in Compton. Like, I can only think of a handful of friends who are doing something right now, and I fight for the people who have low self-esteem, because I had low self-esteem growing up.
Awesome, man.
And a lot of people just don't talk about that. And, life is wonderful. It just, through suffering, we're able to enjoy. Through suffering, we are able to, how can I put this? It's a chapter in the Bible called Romans chapter 1-4. Talk about perseverance and suffering and all that. And at the end of that, life is good after that.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, if God had sent his son to suffer for us, he gonna make us suffer a little bit. And that's something that we have to understand. Because at first I thought, I'm a poor black man. I'm a victim. I should be given this. And really, that's not how life is. Because everyone suffers. Yeah. I traveled the world, and I went to Europe, and I've been by the Eiffel Tower. And I saw so many.
Don't talk about that yet. Because I want to talk about that because I think it's important for us to get out this country, right? So
Correct.
Hold that thought. We got one more commercial, Navigating Through the Valleys of Success, a perspective in the thick of it. Go ahead and play it on, DJ. I love it. I tried to be secular about this book, but I can't. Something's working within me.
DJ was already an incredible person, and then he wrote a book.
I turned to God as a person that stopped believing. So you will meet me there. And if not, you will see the works that help me get there.
If you want to know how to change and learn how to change from the inside out, you read this book.
Money is a real thing. It's a part of it. But what I show in the book, and I'm telling my young people out there, I'm walking you through business. This is a real business lecture 101. It's not the green that's going to keep you sustained. It's your influence. How well do you impart influence and love in people? How do I make you rich by a conversation we've had?
It's going to help you no matter what situation, no matter what trials or tribulations you're going through. It's going to give you that ammo that you need.
Watch God grow inside of me. Watch him show me why this went wrong to get to right. To him to say, you know what, God? I needed the tragedy too. I needed to feel loss. I needed to feel grief. I needed to feel let down. And thank God you've got me where I'm at in my marriage, with my kids, with my family, so I can see the blessings and I can tell somebody else how all those things I went through in the past got me where I'm at today.
You can get through anything if you just keep the faith and walk through that valley and don't give up. Don't turn back, don't look back, just keep looking forward, and the goal is right there. You just have to keep pushing for it.
Keep your brains in your head, keep your heart in your chest, and keep your pee-pee in your pants. And that's it.
That's great advice.
This will stay in your hearts for the rest of your life, and it will conquer the demons that lie in your mind.
That's it. This is my baby, Brent. I got a copy for you, so I got to autograph it for you. So I got a fresh copy, and I'm giving you the indie one because it's got pictures, and I like that one better than the.
Nice.
I mean, they're both. It's the same content, but this one was the one I did myself, and I love it. You know, you can get it on Amazon, CleonJoseph.com, all those distributors. You know, before we go into our sponsor, how do we get a copy of your book, Fighting the 360? I promise you, it'll be one of the best reads of the year for you.
You can go to Amazon.com, type in my name and the book, and you can get it on Kindle. It's not on audio yet. However, you can get it on Kindle. You get a hard copy. You can also go to Barnes & Nobles and ArthurHouse.com.
Okay, cool. Well, you know, my wife is like, you know, what'd you say, babe?
I'm getting messages. Are you single?
I guess people that are watching the show are asking my brother, are you single? You know, pressure's on, bro.
Yes.
Look at that. He looks like Tyson Beckford, man. You know, and, my wife is cute. My wife is turning blue, right? You know, she thinks it's cute. You, hell, man, bro, you look at you, man. You got your stuff together. You know, That's what we need right now, brothers that got their stuff together. So I just want to let you know you're already developing fans. Do you have an Instagram handle they can DM you? Did I say that right? Like the kid at the DM, right?
My IG is BPalm56, B as in boy, Palm56.
It's B Palmer 56. Yeah, baby. Oh my God, I miss being young, babe, but I feel good being on with you. How about that? Look at that, I'm sharp. Hey, listen, man. I want to let's dip into one more thing about this chapter. Okay, fake personality and football coach. Talk about those. Brief synopsis of that before people get this book, because I know they're salivating. Let's talk about that. Fake personality, football coach.
That's one of my favorite chapters, fake personality, because there was a time where I was pretending to be this awesome person when I wasn't, and it was a long time I couldn't read and write that well, and it's funny because I got in the academy the first time, and we had to write a report, and it was terrible. I remember one sergeant said, "Oh, that's the worst report I wrote in my life," and I'm like, "Dang." Like I struggled like punctuation, like simple things that you should have learned maybe in 7th grade that I was, struggling on. And for a long time I pretended, and then like life really came to me. I'm like, oh shoot, I really don't know how to do this. So I struggled with that. And also too, it was a time where I was on Instagram and I used to try to dress up and blah, blah, blah this. And really I wasn't happy, like going to clubs and all that. I'm not really a club person.
Me neither, yeah.
Like I'm really like,
Yeah.
I would do so many things but that.
Yeah.
But, it was a time where I just put on the front and I just really wasn't happy. And then football coach, I was a coach at Compton High School for about 5 years. coached some children, and a lot of them had single parents like I did, and I was able to reflect on my experience, and I was able to help them out. You know, I first started coaching, I was 0-10 2 years in a row. Then my final year of coaching, I went 10-0. We won a league championship.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
It was a
Same
great,
kids, pretty much.
same kids, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. This is psychological. So you went 0-10 first couple of years, but while you were going through that, you were imparting mental toughness, mental, spiritual toughness, and then it just expressed itself in that third year. Man, three's a charm. It's true. Three's a charm. All right, cool. So, and how was it just mentoring? What for our men out there, because you were you raised alone and you had a single parent, doesn't mean you still can't change the game and be a mentor yourself. What was that like? What did you fix in yourself being a mentor for others?
Just being open and honest with them, sharing my life experience, without putting extras on it, I would say.
Yeah.
I think the more honest and raw you are with a person, the more they connect with you.
Yeah.
Because people can tell when you like trying to like put a little extra on there. So I was able to do that. I took the kids to football camps. I took them to Mission Viejo, seeing how how the whites did it, and that was a big opener for them. Just talking to people. They used to always call me, oh, blah, 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 this. Cooking for them. The most simplest things, can help a kid go so far. And because, I had a football coach my senior year, and he was tough on me, but he used to always instill like motivational quotes to me. And I did the same thing to those kids, and they were just able to, they was able to take that, and they just went off from there.
So you were able to temporarily fill that fatherly void that we all need. Like I said, when I came, we had a Mr. Jones. I had a dad, but there were 5 other men I can go to on the block. And these kids coming to you, it's almost like what my dad felt. It felt like raising us felt like it made him whole, and then like he knew his dad, and eventually he was able to accept his father. Fred Joseph came back around, pimping himself, but loved him to death, so that's just my, there it is, it's fam, right? So crazy, grandma, a little out of control, but God bless them. They all loved each other, it's how it was, so filling that hole, filling that void, and being a mentor, those are definitely, and I just wanted to hear it right here, all the qualities that I thought of you. So I want to thank you for being on the show. We're going to put your book up on the screen one more time. Fighting the 360. Listen, this is I want this to be a jumping pad for other shows that you're going to be on. Okay. It's like, I got the goods, so I want to send this out whoever, because people need to hear your story, because you bring a positive energy, a positive light. Fighting the 360. You can get it on Amazon. Where else?
Barnes & Noble and arthurhouse.com.
And for the God-fearing ladies, give us our IG handle again that want this book and more.
BPalm56.
Or see the bass in his voice? I got him blushing, bro. Trust me, man. So many like strong women are looking for men like you, and they just can't find them. And guess what, ladies? I brought him to the show. How about that? All right, don't hurt my man now. He's only 27. Okay. All right. Before we leave, guys, I always do this to my guests that I'm inspired by. It could be a Bible verse. It could be anything, yoga quote, something that you feel that stuck with you. Give a word to our audience to keep them inspired, because people are looking for inspiration. I'm so tired of the uninspiration, the fighting, the right, the left. I'm sick of it. Give us some words of information before we close out.
Just to keep it simple with, God, you can do anything in this world. I don't care about race, where you come from, what shape you are. If you put him first, he'll put you through the mud. However, you will overcome that, and you will be the person that you want to be. So that's the motto I go for.
I love it. Guys, Fighting the 360, get it on Amazon. All the other resources, hit my man up, for a date on IG. I'm sorry, I keep doing that to you. Guys, I am so glad to be back, and it's so good. I only come back live when I know I have a quality guest. The reruns are good enough. It's such a positive vibe because there's so much crap going on. Hopefully we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, because that's how it runs. I see you in 2 weeks with another very special guest. I've been trying to get this person on the show to close out for the holidays, to get you guys inspired. But this is meant to inspire you in a different way. Keep hope alive. Keep coming. Keep growing. Keep fighting. This is Mentorship Moments. Each one, teach one. We are the village. I will see you in 2.
It happened.